Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, May 22. Government has allocated an additional $125 million to truck water and distribute water tanks in parishes severely affected by drought conditions. The parishes are Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Mary, Portland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon and St. Thomas. Last week, the state gave the National Water Commission $100 million to truck water to the most affected areas.
And I've asked the Minister without portfolio to coordinate with the MPs in these parishes to determine how they will put together their schedule, the critical areas that should get, coordinate with the NWC to make sure that those areas are served. There is an existing budget in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation in the water unit for approximately $110 million. That budget we will use for the rest of the island.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness was speaking during Tuesday's sitting of the House of Representatives. He also updated the House on the $795 million in rural water projects being undertaken in the 2019-2020 fiscal year. He said the Rural Water Supply Limited RWSL would be carrying out 20 water projects in the financial year, 9 of which are to be completed during the period. Several water catchment tanks and rainwater harvesting systems will also be completed by September. And the Prime Minister said the RWSL was finalizing designs for several rural water projects. Prime Minister Andrew Holness, meanwhile, is expressing confidence that the recently launched Jamaica Trade Information Portal will improve the island's ease of doing business. Mr. Holness says the portal, along with the expansion of Jamaica's port and other initiatives, should concretize the country's position as a global logistics hub.
Export and import companies can now enjoy greater transparency and predictability of trade procedures, higher compliance levels, and a reduction in the cost of doing business. The trade facilitation value of the Jamaica Trade Information Portal, when considered in the broader framework of the national foreign trade policy, is poised to have a powerful impact on global value chain participation as we strengthen our integration into the digital global economy.
Prime Minister Holness was speaking Monday at the 18th Caribbean Shipping Executives Conference held over 2 days at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. The Jamaica Trade Information Portal is a one-stop shop for businesses to access data related to import-export regulations, requirements, and processes. Information on the portal includes standards, tariffs, fees, levies, and applicable penalties. The database also has various authorizations, inspections, and verifications, trade agreements, and business opportunities. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck says 2 more mobile justice units are to be bought by the end of the financial year. Minister Chuck was giving his contribution to the sectoral debate in Parliament Tuesday. He said the mobile units would allow more underserved and high-risk communities to better access justice services.
Mr. Speaker, we will have 3 mobile units. And so communities, church groups, schools can always call the Ministry of Justice, and one of these mobile units will visit, spend a few hours, and give advice to the residents or anyone who would like information as to how they access a lawyer, how they access the courts, how they deal with legal matters. Because this is needed, Mr. Speaker, across every valley and mountain top in Jamaica.
The current Mobile Justice Unit, which was funded by the Canadian government, has served over 3,000 residents across 100 communities. In other news, the Ministry of Education will be including Titchfield and Port Antonio High School in its transportation program. That's one of the interventions being implemented by the ministry after Monday's motor vehicle crash in Portland, which resulted in the death of 1 student and the injuring of scores more. The Education Ministry will be helping to cover the medical expenses of the students hurt in the crash. A trauma team has also been conducting grief counseling with the Titchfield High School community, which lost 13-year-old Pranjal Jaspi in Monday's motor vehicle crash. Sport Minister Olivia Grange is again calling for more private sector support for the island's female football team.
We've always been committed to women's football in Jamaica, and we were there for the Reggae Girls, and we'll continue to be there. We have committed funds through the Sports Development Foundation, and I've gone out there and I've said to private sector, come on board, join with us, be partners with us. I mean, we don't mind if you come on the bandwagon right now. Because trust me, we're in it to win it.
Minister Grange made the call following the Reggae Girls' 3-1 win over Panama in their final home game on Sunday. The Reggae Girls will make their debut appearance in the 2019 FIFA Women's World Cup in France on June 9. They go up against Brazil at 8:30 a.m. Jamaica time. And finally, persons who waste or use excessive amounts of National Water Commission supplied water in drought-affected areas may be prosecuted. The prohibition order, which was published on Monday, takes effect this Friday, May 24. The Commission says due to ongoing drought, the water it provides must only be used for drinking, cooking, washing, bathing, sanitation, and other essential uses. Persons may be fined and imprisoned for, among other things, watering gardens, lawns, grounds, and farms, refilling tanks, ponds, swimming pools for use other than normal domestic services, washing vehicles with a hose, washing roadways, pavements, paths, and garages, or any purpose that may require an excessive amount of water. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.